Hi guys, this is Rochelle from the Recess team. We get tons of questions from agents trying to break into luxury real estate. They're always asking, how do they do it? How do they build the network? And how do they make those commissions? So we wanted to take some time to make this video series and speak to some of our friends who are luxury agents all over and ask them the burning questions that you guys are really wanting to know. Our first video is with Andrew Greenwell, who's actually an agent from Million Dollar List in San Francisco. Watch the video and get some tips on how you can break into luxury real estate. How did you get into luxury real estate? Like, how did it come to be for you? And you can even speak to, Million Dollar Listing. How did that come to be?
It's interesting. I think people assume that, luxury real estate is really easy, but, it's not, because the commissions are so big. TV show doesn't help. I fell into it because I think in order to be in luxury real estate, you have to understand what luxury consumers want. And I think the common misconception is that you have to live their lifestyle or play in their league. And it's not so much playing or living it, it's understanding it. So understanding what they like travel-wise, food-wise, from furniture to amenities to, you're selling a lifestyle at that price point, and it's hard to sell it if you don't understand it.
Right.
So I think I just kind of always understood it.
And how was it that you understood it? Did you kind of grow up in that world, or how did it come to be for you?
I think I was definitely the poorest kid in the neighborhood, but I grew up in a pretty affluent area, but that doesn't mean that, you have to come from those kind of backgrounds. Just reading up on it, just constantly following, blogs, postings, magazines about what the luxury lifestyle is. I love real estate, I especially love luxury properties, so I find that it's a lot more challenging. My team and I joke that it's easier to sell, an average 3-bedroom condo or home than it is to sell a 30,000 square foot mansion.
Oh, most certainly, I'd imagine. So that's a perfect segue. What is the largest property and of the most value, would you say, if you can kind of divulge that information?
The most expensive deal I ever been part of was about $18 million. But the thing about luxury is the confidentiality, so I can't disclose who it was or who bought it, but it was pretty amazing. I had a $20 million house that we rented for $100,000 a month to a famous baseball player. So it's usually under pretty strict confidentiality requirements.
Right, and that's totally cool. Now, in terms of those types of clients, what's it like kind of putting together an open house or getting these showings together? It's not going to be just cupcakes and tea sandwiches that you're going to have. Is it like jet skis? Is it speedboats and helicopters and all of that fun stuff? Or what's that like?
We don't typically do open houses because whether you're a celebrity in the entertainment or business world, or you just have a lot of money, people usually don't want random clients tramping through their houses. We always try to launch. So in luxury versus a regular house, and we list a lot of entry level, median price homes. We always try to launch things. So we consider everything a launch, whether it's a $500,000 condo or a $5 million or $50 million house. We're always launching the product. And for example, we launched a $7 million one 2 months ago, and they wanted like Cirque du Soleil and trapeze people, and they really wanted to go big. And I've had clients who have said, I have a $12 million listing right now that's not on the market. He doesn't. It makes it more challenging because he doesn't even want it on the market. I'm like, well, I have to be able to talk about it.
Right.
So it can go across the whole spectrum.
So what would be your suggestion or any tips that you could share for agents trying to look into that market? Because as you mentioned, the commissions can be quite high. So the dividends are there, but how do they get into it? How does it happen? How does it come to be?
Very rarely do we get inquiries off a cold lead for a luxury property. It does happen from time to time, but it's networking and being out there and having your face out in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And it's knowing that they can trust you, because it is a trust issue. The one thing I will tell you is people have money for a reason most of the time, and that's because they're fairly intelligent and they've built up the kind of wealth, and they expect you to be informed about the market. And going out there and seeing on broker tour what luxury properties are out there, what's available, what's the inventory, what's the average prices per square foot, amenities. And just being aware and abreast of the market, but it will really set you apart from the other agents.
Are there any other challenges that would come up? Like, do you find that it's easier for a new agent to kind of co-list just to get into that kind of world of luxury, or is there anything else that would be of a challenge to them?
The one thing about marketing luxury properties that usually they sit on the market for a while because they're unique and they're expensive. And so, with the exception of the ones that sometimes move very quickly, you're gonna have to invest considerable amount of resources and money into moving them. That being said, it's gonna you're talking sometimes we'll spend 10, 20, $30,000 over the course of a marketing period. So co-listing is a really great concept if you have the lead and you can bring in an established agent just to get your foot in the door to start marketing those properties. Because all you have to do is get that done, and then you leverage what you used and marketed that with to go get more. Because people are coming to see them and making calls on the properties are usually in that same realm. So they may have something that you could sell, or they may not like that house, but you might be able to pick them up as a buyer. So it's just trying to capture that one. And I do think that agents get greedy sometimes, and they don't think about the fact that I don't want to co-list because I'll lose half my commission. But I mean, we've had properties that have sat on the market for 6, 12 months and they didn't sell, and we lost everything. So
Right.
half of a lot is better than a lot of nothing.